Thence we sailed onward, stricken at heart, and we came to the land of the Cyclopes, a froward and lawless folk, who, trusting to the deathless gods, plant not aught with their hands, neither plough. But, behold, all these things spring for them in plenty, unsown and untilled, wheat and barley and vines, which bear great clusters of the juice of the grape. And the reign of Zeus gives them increase. These have neither gatherings for counsel nor oracles of law, but they dwell in hollow caves on the crests of the high hills. And each one utters the law to his children and his wives, and they reck not one of another. Now there is a waste isle stretching without the harbor of the land of the Cyclopes, neither nigh at hand, nor yet afar off, a woodland isle, wherein are wild goats unnumbered. For no path of men scares them, nor do hunters resort thither, who suffer hardships in the wood, as they range the mountain crests. Moreover, it is possessed neither by flocks nor by ploughed lands, but the soil lies unsown evermore, and untilled, desolate of men, and the feeds of bleating goats. For the Cyclopes have by them no ships with vermilion cheek, not yet are there shipwrights in the island, who might fashion decked barks, who should accomplish all their desire, voyaging to the towns of men, as ofttimes men cross the sea to one another in ships, who might likewise have made of their isle a goodly settlement. Yea, it is in no wise a sorry land, but would bear all things in their season. For therein are soft water meadows by the shores of the grey salt sea, and there the vines know no decay, and the land is level to the plough. Thence might they reap a crop exceeding deep in due season, for verily there is fatness beneath the soil. Also, there is a fair haven, where is no need of moorings, either to cast anchor or to fasten hawsers, but men may run the ship on the beach, and tarry until such time as sailors are minded to be gone, and favorable breezes blow. Now at the head of the harbor is a well of bright water issuing from a cave, and round it are poplars growing. Thither we sailed, and some god guided us through the night, for it was dark and there was no light to see, a mist lying deep about the ships, nor did the moon show her light from the heaven, but it was shut in with clouds. No man then beheld that island, neither saw we the long waves rolling to the beach, till we had run our decked ships ashore. And when our ships were beached, we took down all their sails, and ourselves too slept forth upon the strand of the sea. And there we fell into sound sleep, and waited for the bright dawn. We have entered the land of the Cyclopes. Did it feel like reaching Skull Island in King Kong? I guess there's no real foreboding here. I mean, we know the whole deal with the Cyclops. That's part of the iconography of the Odyssey. But let's just put ourselves in the mind space of experiencing this story for the first time. Is there any foreboding that Odysseus is giving in describing the land of the Cyclopes? You know, when we think about King Kong and approaching Skull Island, there's this sort of like heartbeat of suspense as we approach it. You know, the fog surrounding the island, it's not on any map. There's this air of mystery around it. And here it just seems like they happen upon the land. And when they get there, he spends a lot of time talking about how the Cyclopes, I love that word, don't sow or till their land, that it's kind of mystical in that food, fruit just grow without any kind of cultivation whatsoever. A gift from the gods. And maybe this is where all of my years of reading EC comics, which are so based in irony that I can't see something like this and just go, oh, it's too good to be true, therefore the ball is about to drop. And I'm taking this one step further, going, okay, well, we know what's going to happen with Polyphemus, so therefore this land that looks idyllic is actually holding a lot of danger, and extrapolating that further to going, well, the land of the Phaeacians has a similar vibe going on. Remember we talked about that a book or two ago, where I'm like, oh, okay, so we're going to have Odysseus tell his whole story and think that he's in a safe place, and when he's done, suddenly the land here, the land of the Phaeacians, is going to turn into a danger zone for him in a way that didn't seem dangerous before, the way that approaching this island didn't seem dangerous. I'm kind of put in mind of the opening to the Twilight Zone movie. A silly little sketch between Dan Aykroyd and Albert Brooks, where Albert Brooks is driving a car late at night, long distance, picks up Dan Aykroyd as a hitchhiker, and they are seemingly having a good time just remembering old theme songs from TV shows, and then suddenly it turns to telling scary stories, and Dan Aykroyd's like, you want to see something really scary? I'm going to need you to pull over. You can't handle it while you're driving. And then, what ensues in Albert Brooks pulling over and going, okay, well, what is it? What's so scary? That's kind of like the end of the tale that juxtaposes everything we've seen up to it, all the jolliness that we've seen leading up to it. Wow, I've really gone on a tangent today. I am so sorry. I think I just want to watch the Twilight Zone movie. I don't need to bug you with all of this. Did any of that make any sense, what I just said, or did I just live inside my own head for 10 minutes? I think maybe the latter. Just to follow up, not in depth, but very briefly on what I was talking about yesterday and the comparison between this and the 7 Voyages of Sinbad from Tales of 1001 Nights, they both have this sort of repetitious cycle where they end up on an island, and at first that island doesn't seem threatening until whatever that island holds reveals itself. And in the 7 Voyages of Sinbad, I think it's the 3rd voyage, there is actually a moment of man-eating giants that they come across. And I suppose I'll wait to discuss the parallels between that and what happens with Polyphemus here when we actually see that come to fruition. But just kind of interesting. It's, I think, unignorable that the Odyssey has influenced Tales of 1001 Nights. Okay, that's all I've got for today. Thank you for allowing me to go on so many pop culture tangents. Until tomorrow, okay, goodbye. Odyssey is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. The show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Odyssey, written by Homer. Theme song by Neuroflow. You can support this show and other shows like it by going to patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.